In a moment, I'm going to channel a revelatory message or messages from Saint Germain about how to live as your higher self and what it means to be immortal through the concept that Saint Germain has given me called Life Alchemy. So I hope you will enjoy this with me, and I invite you to stay tuned for all of this cool stuff. Hello, and welcome to the Charmed Life podcast. This podcast is all about magic, metaphysics, mysticism, and the unconditional love of the universe. And I am your host. My name is Tricia Carr. Well, this is a live stream, and it's going to serve as a Charmed Life podcast as well. So if you're coming across this as a new person in the space where I talk about things, then welcome. Nice to meet you. And of course, we have a lot of people who are on the live stream and who might be listening in, replay, either on the YouTube or on the YouTube channel or in the podcast, who are, my best friends, really. That's how we're operating, how we're working together. So hi, Javier. Hi, Gwen. Hi, Kate. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Lori. Hi, Betty. Oh, gosh, so good to see you. Hi, Nicole. Oh, just filling me up with so much delicious, delicious energy. And so before I head into it, a few points of business. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow or subscribe to the podcast and, leave a review on the podcast. That's immensely helpful. That would be great. And then another thing I wanted to just mention to you all has a lot to do with what we're talking about today. Excuse me, my voice is already getting very excited about what we're going to be doing here. I'm fixing my volume too. As doing this solo live, I get to navigate between kind of live producing it, which actually I quite enjoy. But when I started podcasting, I did do it live then too, but I had an engineer, I had a producer, and I departed from that. I did it for like 3 years, and then I departed from that because I wanted to I wanted to I guess up level the production quality or bring it into something that I really wanted to do. Then we had the pandemic, so then I no longer have an engineer, and I just haven't brought back on the in-person stuff yet, even though it's been a while since we've been back. Gotten a little accustomed to doing it myself and, enjoy it a bit. Anyway, so if you see me looking around, that's what I'm doing. I'm live producing. All right, let me get into what I wanted to share with you before we actually get into the Saint Germain channeling, and very excited about that. I want to share the screen with you. This is actually starting officially in less than a week. It's Astral Mastery, which is my ultimate intuitive expansion program. It's a 6-month program that is actually only level 1. Level 2 is also a 6-month program, but I split them up into two of them. And the second one is focused for people who want to just, advance all of this and advance their seeking in their spiritual practice. And actually, it will be geared more directly to giving service in the spiritual space. While the level 1 also has that capacity, especially for people who are wherever you are. Like if you're brand new, you can join us. And if you are already a spiritual practitioner, you will immediately start using everything in your practice and advancing your spiritual service. So it's called Astral Mastery because the word astral means your star essence. It means the essence of who we really and truly are. And it's called the ultimate intuitive expansion program because if you've taken, many people have taken intuitive development programs with me or with, my former partner and, these different ways, or, at any rate, you've taken that with someone else, or even if you've taken it with me, we're going about it in a fresh way. We're going to build the foundation from the ground up, and astral exploration, because we're going to go deep into all of it. We are going to be opening practices such as self-initiated astral projection, lucid dreaming, and part of this is also deconditioning with your human design experiment, and of course our intuition and psychic skills development. We are creating specific technologies for it. My husband is partnering with me to create frequency and binaural beat brainwave entrainments so that we'll be advancing. I'm already, as you know, probably I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. So I'll be utilizing those skills as well as certain other sound audio technologies that'll be a part of it. So it is the the ultimate. You know, when spirit gave me that name to call it, I felt a little shy, but at the same time I felt that resonance of that is what this is. And so I'm really feeling it more. I'm allowing it to exist in my being even more. So when I say it is the ultimate intuitive expansion program and astral exploration, I mean that with full alignment. It is not marketing. I'm not great at marketing, even though I've learned some things, but I actually don't sell. I just give information, an invitation. So, astral awakening is what we're talking about, the practice, the ongoing life practice pertaining to or proceeding from the stars, because we are just all composed of stardust, and that is our true essence. And so that's why we say that this program is for those who are here in this life, knowing and intending to remember that you're composed of the stars and that you are living that truth and reality. So there's two different ways that you can join, either as a full participant or as an observer. And there's coaching. There is actually bonus coaching this Sunday if you joined right now. Otherwise, we'll start the classroom portion of it this coming Wednesday. And then, every other Sunday, it's 2 Sundays per month, there is coaching. Now, if you happen to be listening to this outside of this month, I'm actually planning. I'm going to just skim through the page. Look at all the things you can read about it. Like, I'm just showing you the curriculum that you can read about. And then there's also like there's a couple of sample lessons here. Sample because I've already started to create some of them. And then the frequently asked questions. I highly encourage you to go through and read everything and see how it resonates with you, because I think that's really important. And so, as I was saying, there will be a second 6-month program that is a level 2, if you will, building on these concepts, but also channeling, energy healing, spiritual hypnotherapy. Basically, the program will build a practice to be a spiritual therapist, if that is your interest too, either whether it's for professional reasons or if it's for volunteer reasons or if it's for just your own advancement, your evolution reasons here. So, I was going to say that. Thank you. They're reminding me that I do intend to, I believe that we're going to be opening enrollment every 60 days. So, but that hasn't been announced yet. So, just in case you happen to be listening outside of May 2024, do check the link anyway, because it may be time for registration again. All right, now let's get into the business. I want to look at the comments too. So, hello, Holly is here too. Hi, Holly. Oh, thanks. Holly is in it, and Kate is in the program. And I'm just and Betty, I love you, Betty. So nice to see you. So great to see you this past week, Betty. And all right, we're going to be talking about Saint Germain, or allowing Saint Germain come through. And so before we head into that, so this is channeling, and I wanted to just share a little bit about, what channeling is. It's actually catching a data stream. And I mean, that's what all kinds of intuitive sensing is. And it is, when it's channeling, sometimes it feels like what I'm going to be entering into here is I will start almost by listening and then relaying it, and then it may come through more directly. But sometimes I give way to it and it just comes in directly as an input. The reason for the way it's probably going to unfold this time, the data stream, where I might be listening a little bit and then it'll sort of give way to the direct utility of my voice and of my energy, is because I'm interested and I wanted to learn a little bit about it consciously in advance. It's just an interest, different ways that channeling happens for me. Who knows? Maybe it'll go directly into direct channeling. See, the thing is, Saint Germain is someone that I have worked with intermittently since I've been on this journey, of directly connecting with spirit and, allowing my higher self to communicate with me thoroughly, if you will. And it was just about, I think, 2 weeks ago, maybe less. I was actually in a session with a client, and Saint Germain came through for that person. And then I started hearing Saint Germain tell me, you know, this whole thing about me being immortal, it isn't as spectacular or woo woo, if you will. It's not even really a miracle. It's a part of typical human functioning, even though it's not typically happening for humans. And so he was explaining that his presence was witnessed by individuals across all kinds of time spans. I can't remember. I've read like sometimes 100 years, or sometimes I've read like 200 years or something, like well past his life, his physical life would have logically been. And then, there's also this idea that is reported that he always looked the same age. He looked like somewhere around his early 30s. And that this isn't something that is like, oh, well, he was, this special being. He may have been doing something that a lot of us collectively as humans aren't doing or being, really, that's what it is. But, however, and it is something that is available to us. So that's we'll get into it. The reason that I brought up the Astral Mastery program is because, spoiler alert, it has a lot to do with what we're doing in that program. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about Saint Germain, in case people are not really that familiar with Saint Germain. We call Saint Germain in spiritual circles, or an ascended master, and Summit Lighthouse, or Claire Prophet. She has three names. I'm forgetting. Elizabeth Claire Prophet is with Summit Lighthouse. Also, they curated a lot of information around Saint Germain. And ascended master, the concept of ascended master is that from that particular physical life, that entity doesn't require or desire reincarnation. It's a little too linear to state it that way, though. It is a kind of retirement in that, in the personality expression of that soul vibrational complex. But the interesting thing is that it's really that there was this. Well, thank you. Saint Germain's explaining it to me. He's like, this is why I call it life alchemy. And that, but it's so linear to just say, oh, a person lived and they, became an ascended essence of themselves. They transitioned and then they don't reincarnate. Saint Germain, thank you, is telling me that in this moment right now, we are experiencing life alchemy, and that Saint Germain is living through me now, living through you now, as you connect with this resonance. So resonance is life alchemy in its most fundamental experience. Okay, I'm telling him slow down because I want to talk to you again about Saint Germain. Yes, thank you. Okay. He's like, no problem. Okay. So I'm still involved in the process here. So essentially, some of the things that Saint Germain creates resonance around to help to be a guide for us is that capacity for mastery of alchemical arts. And alchemy is basically what we're all here to do, to manipulate energy from one form into another. It's not only what we are here to do, it's what we are doing, it's what we are being. Because we are spiritual, we are spirit, create alchemizing into a physical form, and yet we are still primarily and unlimitedly spirit. But we partitioned a portion of that spirit awareness into creating a physical life, and that is what we are already. And we're here to more or less forget that so that we can have a really profound alchemical process. Thank you. This is so interesting. I don't know, these are things I'm hearing right now. They're they're bringing this through. This is what life alchemy is from the standpoint the um, of the becoming, when the spirit is creating the physical life. So overall, Saint Germain is that um, avatar, or the emblematic master of alchemical arts, transmuting, to transmute as we come into this experience and we create and attract and get kind of into dense and lead-in energies. Let's just call all of those fears as we play in fear, which is whew, that can really hurt the heart sometimes from a certain perspective. I'm playing in fear. When we're identified to fear, it seems like why on earth would I play in fear? But if we can lift and lighten a bit about that and recognize that fear is something, it's just a dense energy that we are transmuting. And as we do that, the entire universe expands. To be able to ask that question about what it is to be identified in a dense energy such as fear, and then to answer it yourself expands the universe. It expands the perception or the energies of limitation, and it actually brings that freedom, that liberation. And Saint Germain teaches us, holds the resonant space for us to be free, even called the Lord of Freedom or something. Like, I don't really love the word Lord because of all of the associations it's had on our planet, but to be the master of freedom and the era and the age of freedom. So through the teachings and the just field of resonance of Saint Germain, we are we are able to come into the skill of harnessing divine love and cosmic wisdom, and to be able to live and create a form that is the very essence of abundance, purpose, joy, grace, and compassion. And grace is that energy, that frequency that helps to be able to separate the identity, that separate oh yes, thank you. They're like, that is the fire, that is the powerful fire that creates the alchemy, the alchemical fire of to be able of being able to allow the dense fear energy to move into the release, into joy, freedom, and abundance. I'm about to let go to Saint Germain, and this is all about transcendence. Transcendence is not going around, transcendence is going through. So at any time, this is a way to coach yourself, to heal yourself. At any time you are feeling fear, if you can just, if you can allow yourself to accept grace so that higher self, higher mind can recognize, to recall, to remember unto yourself that it isn't actually going around the fear. That's only going to create another mask for the fear for you to stay in it. It's actually going through it. But higher self, the grace, between liminal space of grace, will facilitate that expansion, that going through it, that masterful walking on the coals and through the fire, which leads to this um, other aspect of Saint Germain that a lot are aware of him, that he is that keeper of the violet flame. And the violet flame is what was the word you gave me earlier? Oh yes, that's right. The violet flame is an intense greater awareness. It is you coming into the precise interface of the one awareness. It is where that I said you partition an aspect, the higher self partitions a part of the awareness of the or the essence or consciousness off to have this. It's coming back to that 0 point. And that's what this intense greater awareness is. It is enlightenment, so that we take that energy and it is now moved fully into this whole experience. Now the body is just the allowance of the energy to become into the dense reality and also ascend and transcend in it. And so we take this aspect of the ego nature, and then that might start to resonate, if you will, or actually create a discordance within the entity of fear. And as we release unto grace, we find that we let that higher alchemical fire, that more passionate, powerful fire of what we recognize as the violet flame, and it comes in and it begins to create that transmutation. And so now that's my overview. Thank you. Okay. He said to go ahead and look at the comments. Any comments or questions? Oh, thank you. I also need to take a sip of water as I say hello to some folks. Hello, Debbie. Nice to see you. Oh, there's Betty. Hello. And Kate. Kate is saying hi to everyone. I love you guys. Thank you. And Courtney's here. Hello, Courtney. Nice to see you. And Kathy. Oh, so nice to see you, Kathy. All right, I'm going to take a sip of water. And if there's no other comments or questions, then I'm going to go ahead and let Saint Germain come through. Okay. Go ahead and while we're doing this, you can feel free to comment and if you have questions, I'll zoom through them when I come back with my eyes open. So again, if you are new to anyone channeling, I am a person who, for the most part, has my eyes closed to be able to diminish my connection with the sensory input, and meaning the physical sensory input. Although, sometimes I have my vision open and a bit blurred. And oh, Kate, great, great. Kate says, amazing explanation. I find working with a violet flame very powerful. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. I agree. All right. Okay, thank you. All right. Delightful beings of crystalline light, as you walk upon your plane, you have the sense that you are your feet only. And yes, Saint Germain, as the label has been given to this energy that comes to you at this time, has also had this experience of feeling that the feet were the connection and the 0 point of the essence. But this is only a sense of magnetism. It is to be able to be in the depths of this dense reality, to be able to be in the cloak and the adornment of the physical elements, to be able to be birthed through the womb of that which is the human mother and that which is the earth mother, the essence of Gaia. This is a great joy and privilege to have been magnetized by the feet, to allow that partitioned essence to be experiencing the walking upon the plane. And for the moment to let go entirely of the awareness of the higher truth. In fact, you never truly let go because you would cease to be. But in letting go, you play more deeply, you commit as a disciplined individual to your mission of being fully convinced of the illusion of the separation and of the form that is only physical. And so we say that if you witness yourself or another being deeply committed to the process of fear and density, even to the point of being capable of creating harm to oneself or a perceived other. Thus is the experience of illusion, that there is a separation, that there is even an other. To be able to create what is felt as harm, to be able to experience what is the perception of creating pain. And yes, you are creators and you can create pain. Yes, you can create fear because you can create information. You can also create information that is drawing down the essence of the one truth, the one consciousness, the one awareness. And as you draw that in, then it can go into this form of this life and the body of this race and of this planet. And as you draw this in, then it takes information and allows it to be a new kind of wisdom. And this is the point of this project. This is the point of this school, is to allow new information to be contributed to the one. And so, in any way that you are noticing fear or pain in yours or another's, that you are actually on your mission. Yes, this might seem a disappointment to one who is hoping to escape in this physical life, that they will never have fear or pain. But we want to illumine into you that you are always on your mission. Now, the degree to which you would like to alchemize and experience other aspects of being on your mission is up to you, or it is down to you, if we might say. And you can and shall do this no matter what. You see, there is no time. Many of you who are here, of course, you say, yes, of course, there is no time. And yet I only have so long to be here, to do that. And of course, you have a birth and a death. But do you? Do you then? Do you have a birth and a death? We would like to leave this contemplation with you for a moment or two as we draw in more energy to this vessel. Do you? Do you indeed? Do you indeed have a birth? Do you indeed have a death? As you contemplate this, the intellectual mind would say, well, yes, of course. Of course I do. Of course, so did my parents and my friends and my beloved animals and the tree in the yard. Of course, of course. And yet, does the being, does the essence, does it have a birth and a death? Well, the very fact that you can call upon the tree and the animal and the friend and the loved one is the answer to that question. Of course, there is no death. And of course, was there ever a birth? Did you invent the love and the resonance that you experienced between one and another? Well, you definitely contributed to it. Did you invent it entirely? Well, that is the glory of it all. Of course, you did not birth entirely. The resonance of your love between one another and through your individuated, as it so seems, form, through the individuated, partitioned essence of being. And so, you who are here and who are opening your being to receive this transmission, we want to give you the gift that there is such a thing as immortality when you recognize that, indeed, I do not have a birth. Indeed, I do not have a death. And this will give you that freedom that is the magnetism to the higher self, which is, of course, being collected to the one self. It is that desire from the depths of your soul, from how it feels inside your physical body, into your physical cloaking, your avatar, the essence that has brought in and is in the alchemical process of creating the clothing of the physical being. But it is not, the physical being is nothing in and of itself. It is nothing in and of itself in the sense that it is no thing, even while it is a thing. It is simply an arrangement of energy. It is simply an arrangement of elements of the physical plane, and it is simply an arrangement of the elements of the crystalline plane. And this is how we bid you into this experience, calling you crystalline beings. The crystallization process is both the expanding and the contracting, the expanding and the contracting. And so now we bring you into this concept that we dropped into the awareness of the channel called Life Alchemy. Life Alchemy. And so we bring the legend, the tale, the myth, the narrative of Saint Germain into this field of resonance at this time. And Saint Germain became a magician in this physical life, meaning that Saint Germain was able to allow the laws of the entire universal field to be experienced while not while somewhat suspending, we would say, the physical laws, working with the physical laws and working with the spiritual laws all at once. And when the spiritual laws come in, the physical laws can be somewhat suspended. Now, this is only agreed upon by higher self when it will somehow lead to that greater transcendence, to actually lead to a true alchemical process. And so one might say, well, there are these miracles that one might call dark miracles. Well, that led to that individual and those who experienced it, it led to their greater transcendence by whatever path. You could turn around the block 3 times and wind up in the same place, or you could walk 10 paces forth. It is always up to you and your path. And when we say you, we mean the collective you of your multidimensional, omnidimensional one self. And so it is your higher self who is always giving the permission, and yet at the same time with the gentleness and upon the resonance of the allowance of the being who is walking the plane. And so Saint Germain was working in the arts and skills of the interbetweens and the liminal spaces. Ultimately, it is what is experienced as your out of body or your astral body experiencing. Those who are here may have heard your channel say that it was illumined within this entity to begin to pursue this practice. In fact, it was something that each and every one of the human beings have done since childhood, and it was easily done at childhood. And all of the other entities on this planet do this process naturally, easily, seamlessly. And that the human beings, this is one of the things that is so forgotten, so very forgotten for you. And so the epitome that allowed Saint Germain to appear in the truth of immortality was to be able to bring the spirit being, the astral being, the astral body, all of the layers of the in between of physical to non physical. And while living, to allow this resonance to take so profoundly hold that this is why it appeared while he was still completely and entirely physical to be in a transcendence of aging. Yes, some are asking, so did Saint Germain physically die as humans do? Yes, this is the physical experience so that the soul could be free to continue in its journey. And yet, because there was such a practice of existing in the liminal spaces, higher self was capable and found that it was a blessing that beyond the release of the physical form, that the body that was so proximate to the physical body, that first state just beyond the physical body, was so crystallized that it could walk the plane in the same way that it was walking the plane with the physical body. So we want to simplify this for you. While Saint Germain was of 40 and 50 years of age, and those who were physical with him witnessed him as something of only 30. It wasn't that his skin or his face or his bones were not truly aging. It was that his astral being, his astral body, was superseding the vibratory awareness that the senses would pick up the physical body. It was as if the physical body was being held in that essence of the astral body, so crystallized as it were. Thus, when the being departed, released its essence from the physical form, and the physical form returned to be alchemized by your earth, then this same crystalline body was still capable to dance upon the plains. And those who were capable of working in that energy to see this very proximate dimension, this very proximate density, this crystalline density, could witness him as though he were the same 30 years of a physical life. And so this is how this portal has been opened for this information and for your channel to contribute to it as a part of the mission of this entity. And that is that There is the journey of moving in the liminal spaces more profoundly. Being able to peer into them is one. Being able to create a transduction channel is another. And to be able to have the fullness of the awareness with the silver cord still attached to the physical being, to be able to dance in those energies and then bring them back to the physical life. And then there are many other transdimensional states to allow your conscious awareness to be in, yes, conscious awareness, not your intellectual awareness, but your conscious awareness, to utilize your dreaming, your bilocating, and your energy movement, to be able to allow your conscious awareness to develop a picture and then give it over to the greater awareness, which is your higher self experience. And to have that higher self be fully occupying and directing the physical being. And this is only how the being is able to be physical, and only how the physical is able to be being. And as we begin to allow this resonance to stay with you, we will activate this all with a primordial tone and bring back the conscious awareness of this entity to interact, collaborate, and co-create information, transcendence, and interdimensional creativity with you all. Selah. All right, I'm coming back, y'all. Coming back. I'm Tricia. Hello. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello. Hi. All right. As I'm coming back, I'm going to, I can feel, I don't know if it's already on the chat. What am I holding? It is like a purple calcite. It always takes a while for my eyes to connect back with the reality, with the physical senses. So let me see what's going on here. I see something from Brad says Saint Germain's official messages were Guy and Edna Ballard. Okay, great. Ballard. Thank you. And Kate says, I used a fire ritual this morning to finally recenter and clear my ego, my fears that got triggered during a difficult week. I hear you. Thank you for sharing that, Kate. And yes, yeah, fears being triggered. I've been having those happen lately too. And that's what we're here to do, is to, transmute fears. And so the practices that we do, and all of the practices, just living life, helping us to all of the events and experiences. Sometimes I say, I wonder what good is coming of this when something is what I perceive as fun or positive or a blessing, and also when I perceive something as a deep challenge or painful. And if I can let that grace in by saying, I wonder what good is coming of this, it is in fact in every single experience that we're having, is I wonder how this is transmuting fear in me. I could feel the energy of that transmission. It was very expansive. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for co-creating it. Yeah, it felt really different than. And Brad says the violet flame is very important for right now for transmutation. I'm glad you are promoting it. Oh, thank you, Brad. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm glad you are as well. Thank you. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right. Whew. This was a lot of fun. And so, is there any other way I can be of service to you? Um, if you felt like this might benefit someone else, I encourage you to share it, of course. And is there any other invitation for me to make to everyone or anything else to share? Oh, okay. Thank you. So they just want us to, I guess, whoever's connecting here to be reminded of prayer, that prayer is an alchemical process and that thank you, they say that sometimes religion has taught us quote unquote the wrong way to pray, but they say this is welcomed as well. What this wrong way to pray means is that there's complaining or there's begging, and they say that's okay as long as you also open the portal of grace. That might be something like when you walk in through the door at the end of a day and you have a backpack on and another bag and groceries, and then you have shoes on, and you have all these different things that are heavy and weighing you down that you've had to bring from the outside into the inside, that your complaints or your fears or your crying or your begging, that's you taking off these burdens, and then you're inside and you say, okay, now I relax. But you have to allow yourself, not that you don't keep picking them back up and walking around with them on. You can off gas those first, you can release those first, and then you truly are able to come into the inside of your being, the inside of your closet of prayer. And prayer is alchemy. And so to pray over your space, to pray over your events, to pray over your loved ones, to pray over your problems and challenges, and to allow light to come down into your being in the way that is able to come into this space of your physical body. This channels and allows the seating of higher self to come into you. And na ho shokoro ka halagaro, mina ka so holagaraga, yancho shoshinkido ra, la yanganto shondo lagaya do, nyurins and now. Wow, wow. 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 To allow the transmissions to come through the language or the utterances, that this is transmuting the energies that you wish to transmute. And so coming together now in a collective prayer, in whatever way that it is feels resonant to your entity at this time, we pray over this space and place, over these relationships. We lift them up. We give them over to be covered in light. We bless them. We consecrate them. We call them sacred. Each and every concern and care, each and every hope and dream, each and every fear that we desire to transmute, we call it into this plane now. We say that all is possible and probable under the eye of the One. And so we allow this eye of awareness to come into the being right now, releasing all of the insistences and conditions, for we do not trust entirely the partitioned essence of the self. And this is wisdom to do so. And so we give it all over to the one wisdom, to the one heart. We allow ourselves to be lowered in entropy, that which is detracting from life, the sense of subtracting from being and love. And we allow the fullness of our essence to be adding to love and giving and allowing being. We pray this over these entities now, that they may be uplifted and enlightened. And we call all of it very easy and very freeing, for we know that love is the easiest and freest experience of resonance that any entity could have. These crystalline entities, we bless them. We are grateful for them. We are grateful for ourself. If you would say, I am grateful to you, to yourself. I am grateful to you, heart. I am grateful to you, if you say your own name, to be able to bring the lower self, the personality, up to the higher self's connection, and then allowing the flow trusting the forever and ever and ever. And so it is. Okay. Oh, thank you. So I'm just going to paste the link. I think it's in the description anyway, Astral Mastery. Yeah, starting in a few days here, and inviting you to check it out and join us. We would love to co-create with you. Okay, I guess that's wow. There's a lot of people on here. I don't know if you guys can see because it's multi-streaming through different places. I'm just so grateful that you're all here. So once again, please like, subscribe, share all of that stuff, and just get out there and love yourself today, because that's how your higher self can catch the resonance of living you. And I hope to connect with you very soon. And please do leave a comment or, ask a question, make a request of anything that you would like to co-create, anything you would like to experience, any way that I can possibly be of service to you. So that's what I have for you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for shining your light on our beautiful world. And thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are. Empowered Empath. This is a program designed for the sensitive soul, for the person with that empathic nature. And by the way, that is a healing ability. However, this is a healing ability that you can't turn off. You cannot turn off your empathic nature, because it's more than just a psychic or healing ability. It is also how you are designed. So the Empowered Empath is a powerful program that is also gentle, consists of 4 modules with 8 life-altering lessons, 4 aura tuning meditations, and we have bonus group healing and coaching sessions that are coming up really soon. You definitely want to check the show notes so you can see when those are coming up. You have access to it for a whole year. You'll be able to continue to water the garden of your empathic nature. You'll learn how to feel centered and peaceful as a sensitive person, how to use your gifts as a superpower that they are meant to be, and you'll be receiving attunement and healing and new life strategies to live in the power and purpose of your sensitive nature. It's especially tailored for those who want to turn their empathic and sensory overwhelm into intuitive strength. It is immersive yet very gentle program, and it's suitable for all levels of development. And I especially recommend it for those whose human design body graph reveals that they have an undefined emotional solar plexus. So if you are just ready to turn that sensitive sponging into the thing that we really need right now, we need your sensitive genius shining on this planet to be in the high frequency, high functioning of your sensitive superpower. So join Empowered Empath. You have access to the lessons starting right away. Oh, by the way, it's very affordable and even comes with payment plans. Only $177 for all of this content, and you can make a payment plan of 3 months or 6 months. I made it extremely affordable and accessible because I know what it's like to need the help. So if it's your first time of really healing your empathic nature, or you need to do it another time, this is the program for you. I can't wait to see you there.